Welcome everyone to another exciting NAB business webinar. My name is Denton Pugh and I have the great privilege of leading the NAB small business banking team here across Australia, looking after more than 200,000 small business customers from all metropolitan cities. With me today is Rebecca Katakis, our head of social media, and we're so glad that you could join us here today. As the largest business bank in the country, we wanted to play a part in helping businesses get the most out of their digital capability. And we really hope that you enjoy and get value from the series of webinars that we've put together for you.
Thanks, Denton. Look, we know the juggle between business life and learning can be really tricky, so we really appreciate you being here today. As Denton mentioned, I head up our social media team at NAB, and I'm a former small business owner, so I understand how challenging it is when you're starting something new. This program is really close to my heart. We wanted to prepare a session to speed up the learning curve and help businesses to get started in socials. And we're pleased to deliver this introductory workshop in partnership with Facebook as part of their Boost with Facebook program.
Before we hand over to our speaker, Dan, I wanted to give you some information about how you can contact us if you need any help. If you call this number, 13 4708, you can actually speak directly to one of my bankers right now, and you can set up an appointment over the phone, over Zoom, or face-to-face at a convenient time and location to you across the country. We also have set up a dedicated hub on nab.com.au for our small business community. Here you will find tools, guides, and product information to help you through any stage of your business. Visit nab.com.au/smallbusinesshub.
So without any further delay, we're pleased to introduce our presenter for this webinar. We've got Facebook community trainer Dan Nikas with us today. Dan is a former homicide detective sergeant and was in the force for 17 years before turning his policing skills over to e-commerce in 2015. When he founded and ran Gearbunch, which turned over 4 mil in its first year. So an amazing outcome for Dan. Dan's been a in-demand keynote speaker since at industry events worldwide and sits on the advisory board for many organisations. Dan, over to you. Let's get started.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me here today, guys. I really appreciate the opportunity for NAB to help present with helping small businesses. So, you know, being a small business owner myself, you know, and actually a NAB business customer, you know, it really resonates a lot. You know, I'm here with a lot of you going through the same experiences. And what I hope today is that I can take you through and show you how to, in these somewhat challenging times at the moment, you know, really improve your business. So, you know, the thing that I would like you to probably take away from my background is that whilst it's an interesting story, and I'm very proud of the fact of the career I had as a police officer, the thing that I want you to take away from it is that I don't come from an IT background. I don't come from a marketing background. 5 years ago, I decided to challenge myself when my career as a police officer ended, and this is where I've ended up. I've got my small business running now. I run it from a regional town in northern New South Wales. And I just want to instill in you that you don't need to have a technical background or an IT background or marketing background to make this work. So I'd love to be able to take you through what I've learned and how this can actually help you further your business. So obviously this workshop is part of the series of free online webinars that NAB has put out here to help your business grow online. And look, I wish that this was around 5 years ago for me. This is something that, you know, I would have found extremely beneficial. A lot of what I did was by trial and error. I didn't really have any guides or systems or strategies to follow or people to inspire me. A lot of it I just had to learn on my own. So that's what I want to take you through today. The fact that the world has changed in so many ways and we're communicating with each other in various different mediums, and the way we consume information has changed, especially in our current climate. So what I want to share with you is some research that was a commissioned study through Facebook called Future Now, and it talks about a few of the trends that we're seeing around the world that's going to impact on how it, how it affects your business and how you can possibly move with the times and align your business with what the trends are at the moment. So what this study has found is that, you know, people have been forced to adopt an online digital shopping, you know, mentality. You know, a lot of the restrictions that have been placed because of COVID and such around Australia, and in fact around the world, has forced people who sometimes might not have ever online shopped before, they're being forced to go out and become more of an online presence, become more savvy with online shopping. The other thing is that we found is that people during COVID-19, you know, during what's going on at the moment, they're developing different loyalties to online brands. So it's not just about, you know, bricks and mortar businesses anymore. It's about that online presence. It's about how that person can, how available that business is to them. We're talking about accessibility and assurances that those businesses can bring to them. And we're now seeing that there's this contact is the new friction. So there's contactless conversations that we're having around the world, and we're experiencing that within Australia, with about 30% of Gen Z saying that they've shopped via social media in the past 4 weeks. And that then translates to the next point with the trends that they've found as well, is that people are gravitating towards communities or businesses that they feel that support issues that they actually like as well. So these are some big takeaways that have been identified. And what that means for us as small business owners is that we need to future-proof ourselves, because we don't really know what the new normal is going to be. So we need to make sure that we're adapting to what's going on. We're not just writing it out, waiting to see what happens. We need to adapt now. And I've done that with my business as well. And a lot of the people that I deal with day to day are doing the same. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is I'm going to take you through Facebook business pages and Instagram business profiles. I'm going to show you the Pages Manager app, which is a place that I use almost daily, where I can get insights about what's going on with my business online on Facebook and Instagram, content, you know, what I'm posting and messages that I'm receiving. I'm going to show you also how to promote a post. This is a strategy that I use a lot with my business, and we'll take it step by step and get there. And then lastly, I'm going to talk to you about account security. So this is pretty important, and we'll go through that towards the end of the presentation that we're going through today. All right, so business pages and Instagram profiles. So before we get into what they actually are, there's 4 questions that I'd like you to have a think about. And they all relate to your specific business. Now, these are key as we move forward through the presentation. When I'm talking to you about certain things that you can do that can benefit your business, you need to be aware of these questions and what potential answers or what actual answers you have in mind, because that's going to create the basis for how you actually do what you're going to do as I take you through. So what are those 4 questions? The first one is, what's my story? So what is it? What is the story about your business? What are your business objectives? Who your actual audience is? And what makes your business unique? So what is different with your business compared to a competitor? If you know the answers to these, this is going to be great as we move through. And if you don't, just turn your mind to it, make a note about it. And then when you leave this training and you look at the replay, or you go and you start to implement some of the strategies that we talk about today, come back to these 4 questions, because as I said, they will form the basis of where you go from here. All right, so fundamentally, here's where we start. There's 2 entities that I want to talk about on the Facebook platform. The first is a Facebook profile. Pretty much every adult in Australia has a Facebook profile. So this is where your friends and family, you connect with them. It's for sharing personal updates, videos, photos. The downsides to a personal profile, because it's not designed to be run as a pseudo business profile, is there's no tools to manage posts or messages, and there's no insights or data about your audience or what's going on your page. So what you need to have for your business is actually a business page, which is another feature of Facebook. So this is a place where people can like your business. They can focus on business. You can focus on your business information on there. There are tools for managing messages. There's tools for managing your posts, and there's page insights in there. where you can learn about your customer and your page performance. So if you have been using your personal profile as your business page, then you can, and I would recommend that you should change over to a business page. I would not be trying to run your business as a Facebook personal profile. Leave that for friends and family, for people that you know in the real world, and have a business page that's there to support your business. There is an easy way to transfer your page over from a profile to a business page, and you won't lose your personal profile. So if you go to the Facebook Blueprint, if you Google Facebook Blueprint, there is some really detailed instructions on there on how to go through that process. So the best thing about business pages is it's set up for your business. And that includes having things such as call to action buttons. So this is not something that's available on a personal profile. So when you're looking at it, someone comes to your Facebook business page, you have an option to select between different call to action buttons that you can see here. Now, some of these are relevant to your business. Some of them are relevant to other people's business. They're not all encompassing. Not everyone's the same. So for, let's say as an example, you have a restaurant in a small town, you might want to look at using the book now functionality that's on there. If you want someone to be able to get directions to your business, there's a button there for that you can have as your call to action. There's also one that I use all the time, which is Shop Now, because my business Gearbunch doesn't have a physical location. So I need to divert my customers to a website. So this is what I'm saying. You need to know what your intentions are with answering those 4 questions at the beginning. This will guide you about what actions you want people to take on your business page. So a good idea when you're actually going through this is make sure that you test it as an admin of your page. You make sure that it actually works. And I always get someone else who's not an admin of my business page or is not involved in my business page just to go in and just check to make sure that the button functions the way that it should be functioning for them. So always make sure you test to see if it's working. All right, so the next side of it is that you can have a business profile on Instagram. So we've seen what a Facebook business page looks like, and this is the Instagram equivalent. And now this is made for mobile first. As Instagram was designed to be, it's meant to be a mobile experience. So 1/4 of businesses on Instagram in Australia receive an interaction daily in the form of taps on a phone number, directions, an email, a direct message, clicks through to their website, or someone shops on their page. So what you need to do is take your personal business profile that's sitting on Instagram at the moment, and you can you're going to switch it over to be a business profile, not an individual personal profile. And the way to do that is to tap on the top right of your profile where you'll see the 3 bars when you go to your app. And then you just tap on the settings, tap account, and switch to a business profile. What I also recommend, and we also recommend, is that you connect your business profile, your Instagram business profile, to your Facebook page that it's associated with. And this will make it easier. And you'll see as we move through the trainings a little bit more today, you'll see how once they're connected, it makes it a lot easier to manage all of these features that we have. At this time, only one Facebook page can be connected to a business profile, but that shouldn't create too many dramas for, the majority of the people that are here today. I know it doesn't create any dramas for me, so it's a good situation. And when you're creating your business profile on Instagram, it'll allow you to be able to share valuable information with your followers and potential customers, and they can actually click on your business address, and they can actually get contact information such as your email and your phone number and directions, and it just makes a better experience for all involved. Okay, now the key thing here is that we don't just want to set up a business profile, whether it be on Facebook or Instagram, and it's not just set and forget. So we need to use these, we set up the basic structure of it. We set up all our information on it to start with. But what we want to do is we want to be flexible, and we need to be able to communicate updates. So we always want to update, say we have a change of hours or change of contact details, a new email, or we've got a different mobile number that we want people to contact with us. Make sure you update that information. There's nothing worse than a potential customer not being able to, turn up at your business at the right time because you're closed or because they can't get in contact with you. So I like to also recommend that you create posts that communicate the latest updates from your business, whether that be you know, something new on your menu, a new service that you offer, a new product that's just been released. You know, also within your posts, you can proactively answer any frequently asked questions if through, you know, people walking into your store or via support desks, questions, you're getting the same questions over and over again. That's a really good opportunity to be able to create a post and to convey that message out there, sort of answer that question before it gets asked by, you know, your potential customers or your existing clients. And you can also use direct messaging tools to help set customer expectations. So direct messaging is the equivalent of Messenger on Instagram. So that's something that you can use. Now, we've just got an example here from, the example on the screen is a business called Jumble. They're a retail store in Orange, and they released a series of small business tips during COVID. And there it is there. So this is just an example of it. If you don't have a website to sell through, go through Insta by getting people to phone or DM their orders through. So use the free apps that we have, get it out, get your message out there, and tell people how they can get in contact with you and how they can actually order. The next part that I'd like to talk to you about, this helps you actually manage what's going on. And I use this tool for Gearbunch daily. I use it on my phone every single day. I'm not talking about hours at a time. I'm just talking about short periods of time, seeing what's going on, having a look at the insights of my page. And I'll take you through exactly how that works now. All right, so the Facebook app you can download from iTunes or Google Play. So what it is it allows you to look at the data on your page insights. It allows you to learn more about your community, and it also gives you an insight into the content that you're actually posting. So they're the three things that I like to keep an eye on for my business, and I recommend that you keep an eye on for your business through Facebook, your Facebook page, and also Instagram. And I'll take you through how to exactly look at both of those, because the community is the heart of your business. So you want to know what's going on, what's resonating with them. Am I putting the right, you know, sort of posts in front of them at the right time of the day, on the right day of the week? You know, are my efforts going rewarded? Should I be focusing on other areas, or should I be replicating what's working now? So let's talk about a few ways that you can do these things more easily. So like I said, you can download the Facebook Pages Manager app, either through iTunes or Google Play, and it gives you insights, and it allows you to monitor message and schedule posts across Facebook and Instagram. So once you download the app, all you need to do is click on the icon to open it. Once it's open, you see that you've got the insights, the page insights there. And once you're in there, what it will do is it will take you and it will show you things like what actions people are taking on your page during the last week or month. You know, it's essentially a dashboard where you can view the demographics of your actual users. You can see gender, you can see locations. It can actually, you know, see how long it's taking you to respond to them on Messenger. And it gives you a good understanding of how many people are actually clicking through onto your website, as you can see on the example there, how many people are actually, you know, using this functionality to phone you, and how many people are maybe getting directions to your store. So this gives you a really good insight as to what's going on with your business. This function's also available in, I think, a lot greater detail on your Facebook Pages desktop. And as you can see here, when you go to your Facebook business page, all you simply do is click on the overview, and then you just have a look at the insights button there. And that will take you through a lot of other information as well, such as how many pages people are viewing, you know, how many people your posts are actually reaching. You're going to get demographics about the actual people that are following your page or interacting with your page. The other thing it's going to tell you is how many people have clicked through to your website, all the information that you want to know. The other great thing it does, it tells you how long it's taking you on average to respond to a message that your business is receiving. That's something that we can always improve on. And then there's also information about, you know, what time of day your audience is actually online, what day of the week they're most active. And that can then help us sort of plan out our marketing moving forward, so that we can make sure that we're hitting the people at the right time with the right message. So Instagram has something that's easily accessible as well. And you can access your insights through your Instagram business profile within the Instagram app. And it gives us a lot of the similar information. As you can see here, all you do is click on activity and it'll take you through and it'll show you the posts that have gone on for the week, and it'll give you insights that'll help you craft content that appeals to your followers. And it looks across specific types of photos and topic areas like special events and behind the scenes. And it'll tell you what your community's actually liking. And again, you'll see on what time of the day or what day of the week people are engaging with your post. And that'll help you figure out, when you should be posting, because, there isn't a best time of day for everyone to post. There's no set rule for this. What there is you need to learn about your business. Every business is different. So you're going to have to test out a little bit and see, what days of the week work. So post different days of the week, different times of the week, and then go into your insights and see when it is that you're actually getting the most interaction, when people are online, what content they like. And it just allows you to be more in touch with what your user base is actually looking for. And this is the sort of information when you click on activity, it tells you how much interaction you've had in the last week. It tells you how many profile visits you had, how many people have emailed you. And you can see there on the screen, it shows you the actions taken on your account. And you can see, looking at this example, Saturday through to Tuesday, really active on this account. The users are online, they're actually taking action. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, not so much. And you can actually see Monday's the best day. Now, would you know that without the insights? Probably not. It would take a lot of trial and error, but these insights tell you exactly when you need to be, promoting or pushing your content out to these people. So it'll empower you to be able to make decisions and come up with a really solid plan. And you can see here it's showing us, it's breaking down the demographic of gender, age, and where they're actually from. So, it'll also show you how many followers you've gained in this time. So it's really, really valuable information. So armed with this information, your insights help you gain this understanding of your audience, and they help you connect and build and engage with your online community. And this will help you to know what you want to post about. Remembering, we still want to be answering those 4 questions. So what I want to take you through now is how to create and schedule posts. So your content, and as you can see appearing on the screen, it can take many forms. It can be photos, it can be videos, it can be user-generated content, it can be lifestyle, behind the scenes. So the content is everything that you post and share with the audience. So think about things like updates about your business, industry news, special offers, blog posts, photos, videos, you name it, you can put anything out there. And the great thing is that if you're not sure what to put out there, you can start putting out stuff, and then you can go back and check your insights like I've just showed you on Facebook and Instagram, and you can see what actually resonates with your audience. So look, these days you can create everything on your mobile, and there is a range of free apps that you can do. And there are plenty of online resources to learn how to do this. You don't need to spend money doing this. Actually, what I find with Gearbunch at the moment is the best content that we create or have created for us is not photo shoots like in a studio. It's not blurry, shaky iPhone photos. There's this middle ground that we're finding is working exceptionally well, where we have users who love our products, and we get them to create content for us, and they put in a lot of effort. It comes across really genuine because they're real people in the real world using our products, and we create a full range of content based on what these users provide to us. So think about the type of content that you want to get out there. So in terms of your business, what sets you apart from the rest of the people? What is your story? What is the message that you're trying to convey? So each business has, something very different to offer, and you need to have your content aligning with the goals of your business. So whilst you've got this content, you're going to plan a bit of it out based on insights and what you're trying to achieve. But remember, a bit of it can be spontaneous. It can be out of, a bit of behind the scenes of, someone packing something in your warehouse. It might be an outtake of someone trying to make some content. You can show a bit of your personality in there. And what you can do is once you've start to develop a bit of a content basis, you can start to schedule these things in, and I can show you how to do that as we move through this training today. So a really good example of this is these guys, Sven and Anna from Amber Drop Honey in Johns River in New South Wales. So they fundamentally, they sell honey and, you know, and beeswax products. So they've got a product, but their content spans so much more than that. It's not just about, you know, the product that they're selling, because there's only so many different ways you can, you know, share photos of honey. So what they do is they use Facebook and Instagram for two main reasons, and that's to increase awareness and education around beekeeping and the environment, and obviously to sell their honey. They are a business after all. So what they did is they tested what works best for them, and they saw that they could split this into 5 main different buckets or pillars for their content. And they've created a monthly calendar that they use for planning their posts. And again, I'll show you how you can schedule some of this in shortly. So they collect pictures and images each week. So they just take it on their phone, videos, photos, whatever it might be, and they save them up. And there are 5 pillars that they have. And you can see how this might translate to your business as well, is they talk about bee rescues, which is their point of difference. They're not just, you know, they're not just producers of honey. They actually rescue the bees. News and facts and industry updates. So they talk about the bigger picture and the community that they're really passionate about. They also share recipes using their products, which is, you know, provided by engaged customers, which is fantastic because it makes people feel like they're more of the community. Talks about market activities, where they're going to be. And they also have special product updates and offers. So I encourage you to think about just pulling out a big bit of butcher's paper and just writing down all these ideas and try and think of what 5 buckets or pillars are that you could have for your business. And we can start creating a content plan around that. Another tip when you're creating content is that you should be consistent with your look and feel. So you don't just want to be ad hoc. We're talking about consistency in a number of ways here. So have a look at your favorite businesses on Facebook or Instagram and what do they look or feel like? And I guarantee what you'll do is you'll go to them and subconsciously you'll know, without really reading anything, you know, who that business is just by looking at those pictures, because they've got a consistency about them. So consistency, we're talking about consistently posting, having a consistent message, talking about your goals and your story, but also the format of what you're putting out there. Don't be too ad hoc. Initially, when you're trying to learn what your community likes or what your user base likes, you might have to test different things. But once you find what's worked, you get these consistent themes going, consistent stories, consistent formats, whether it's photos or videos or a combination of both, and you put them out quite regularly so that you almost train your audience to a degree about what to expect from you, and they quite look forward to it. You know, bring your brand's personality out through that and make sure your photos and videos match that. Now, the word brand can be a little bit intimidating for a small business owner. I know it definitely was for me when I started, but because you don't really have the time to think about brand, we're trying to manage so many things all at once. But the reality is that building a brand, especially on Instagram, it's natural. It's about creating a consistent look and feel across the photos and videos that you'll be creating. Something that I get asked quite a lot about is the use of hashtags as well. So hashtags are more relevant on Instagram, but they also are still relevant on Facebook as well. But they're a great way to find, hashtags are a great way to find existing community based around interests, or you can create a community around your business, or you're engaged with an active community that you want to be a part of. So as an example, for Gearbunch, what we do is when we make a post, we'll have a couple of larger based hashtags for, you know, as an example for yoga or for leggings or for being active, something along those lines, that it's an all encompassing hashtag. But then we have some very brand specific ones like Gearbunch or Gearbunch Active or Gearbuncher. And we encourage our users when they receive the product, if they want to send us a photo or they want to tag us on social media, that they hashtag Gearbuncher, and then we can search for that and anyone else can search for that. And we see that we've got this whole community of people growing around this particular hashtag. So this is, you know, when you're looking at it, look up for your business, what common hashtags there are out there. Because what you'll find is that when you post those common ones and the niche specific ones for you, people will actually be able to find the hashtags do pop up. Make sure you encourage users to actually mention your business as well, not just hashtag, both on Instagram and off. So just using the little @ symbol. When you're using hashtags, I recommend using about 3 to 5. There's no set rules to it, but 3 to 5 tends to work really well for us. So a couple of main ones and a few very specific ones. So the other thing is always add a location tag to your post so people know how to find you. So if you're a bricks and mortar business or you have a physical presence. When I get asked about emojis, that's another thing. I think moderation is great with it. I do find them fun. I do find some brands go a little bit overboard and I find it a little bit distracting, but that's a personal preference. It might work really well for their community. So see what works for you. If you do share content from someone else, remember to tag and credit the followers and businesses where appropriate, where you're sharing that content around. All right, so creating and scheduling posts. So this is what we talked about. People check on average Facebook about 14 times a day, from their bed, from, when they're on the train, waiting at the doctor's surgery. So a really important tool is being able to schedule your posts in. And you can do this through the Pages Manager app or on the desktop on Facebook. There's also other third-party tools. We use one called Hootsuite that we like to use, which allows us to schedule posts in, but allows us to think about posts in advance and come up with a monthly marketing calendar. And we sit down and in the space of a few hours, we map out our monthly marketing. And we can then go in, find the content, schedule it in, knowing that moving forward, it's going to be scheduled in there. When you're starting out, if you want to sit down, you can probably plan it out a week ahead and then just do once a week where you plan it out. It's not going to stop you posting in the meantime if you've got any updates or anything along those lines. But it does mean that, you've got consistent messaging going out in line with what the page insights are telling you, the insights from Facebook and Instagram are telling you. It allows you a bit of freedom as well. So, you don't want to have to be, I've got 3 young children. I can't just drop everything at 7:30 at night when it's like, showers, dinners, bedtime routine, just because, my user base are going to be online at that time of night. I need to just stop everything and go and do it. I can actually schedule that in and know that I can go about my normal day to day and that post is going to be scheduled up there. So really simple to do. All you need to do is just open up your Pages Manager app, start typing in a post like this one, test 1, 2, 3. Click on the options, your publish options there. You've got one to schedule, you pick a date and your schedule post is in there. So you can actually go through and change that if you need to. You can cancel if you've got something else more important that you want to put up. So you're not putting 2 posts out within a very short period of time, but very easy to change if you need to. Okay, planning to be unplanned with stories. So if you haven't heard of stories, they're on Instagram. They're great fun. They're a vertical video and they go up for 24 hours. So there's a lot of fun ways that you can express your personality using stories. And I'll take you through some of those today. But make sure you get them out there. There's heaps of editing tools built natively within the app that you can use. You don't need any extra apps to be able to do it. And this is a great way to get information out that you haven't mapped out in advance. So you haven't got it as part of your content. It might just be some great news that you want to share with your community. So you can use hashtags through the use of stickers. You can use face filters. You can do app mentions. Yeah, and then you can also do things like polls, like plain or sprinkles with the donuts. And these are like a not so in your face way of showing potential customers, existing customers, products that you have in your range without saying, hey, look at these products. It could just, you're asking their opinion. You make them feel like they're part of something, but what you're actually doing is showing them a service or an offer or a product that you might have in a fun and sort of, entertaining kind of way. So another really important part with your strategy is going to be Messenger. So many of us are using Messenger to communicate. In fact, I use Messenger now more than I use SMS. It's just where all my friends are, all my family sits. It's easy to share things. And I just find it to be a great communication tool. And that's for businesses too. So the research shows that about 3 in 4 Australians have communicated with a business via direct messaging. And 1 in 3 also said that they've used direct messaging because they couldn't find the right information on a business website. So it's a really good tool to find out where you might be lacking with a bit of communication or a bit of information, and you can use that and then update your website or your Facebook business page or your Instagram business profile. So with over 700,000 of Aussie businesses active on Messenger each month, it can be a really powerful product for your business strategy, because it can be used at every point of the customer journey. Not just trying to answer questions for potential customers. You can do that. You can showcase your products, but you can also post-purchase. You can talk to them in the post-purchase experience, send them order confirmations or tracking details or whatever it might be that's relevant to your business, confirm appointments, those sorts of things. And the great news is that if you have a Facebook page, you're already on Messenger. So, which is really, really good news, because each month people and businesses are exchanging about 20 billion, that's billion with a B, messages on Facebook Messenger. So Messenger makes it easy to be responsive to customers, and you can either choose to manually manage those conversations, or you can build a custom presence for Messenger for your business. So there's a wide variety of options based on how much you want to invest in this space. None of it's overly hard to use. It's actually really simple. So I'll just walk you through a few automated messages. You can see on the screen here, what we've got is we can have away messages. We're real people. We have real lives. Like I said, I have 3 kids. I can't be online 24/7. It's just not possible. So I can turn on an away message to say, hey, look, thanks for reaching out. We can come back to you after 7:30 a.m. tomorrow. Whilst this is automated, the person gets this message. You then go in the next day, the person feels happy that they've contacted you and you said, I'll get back to you. And then you do, you go back and get back to them. So the other thing you can do is have instant replies. So as soon as someone messages you, there's a default message that'll pop up. And you can also have customized greetings, which you can, it's a note that'll appear as soon as someone starts a new message thread with you. So that's actually before they send the first message. So, it sets the tone about the personality, the voice of your business, and allows people to, be aware of, potentially what types of messages they can expect. Instagram Direct is Instagram's version of this. It's built right into the Instagram profile. It looks like a little paper airplane icon. 1/4 of businesses in Australia on Instagram are receiving interaction online there. So direct messaging is becoming increasingly popular with customers. And so knowing how it can work for you is important for your business. And it's important for customers to know that they can actually contact your business. Okay, so look, when you look at it, you're like, oh my God, there's actually quite a lot in there. How am I going to manage all this? Well, Facebook's come up with a solution for us. It's called a unified inbox. And what it does is you can do it via your Pages Manager app. I use it on the Facebook desktop with my business page. It brings into it my Instagram account because I have it connected to my Facebook account. And it brings in all of my messages from Facebook, all of my direct messages via Instagram, my Instagram Direct, which is that little paper airplane you can see there. It brings in all my comments as well. So it allows me to respond to comments on posts that I've made, reply to messages, reply to my Instagram Direct messages. And it's an all-in-one place to help me manage all of my interactions without having to log in and out of different things. So I can quickly respond. As a best practice for me, I go in there most days and check on that. Okay, so this is an example of Singing Magpie Produce. They're based out of Monash in South Australia. So they've just got some ideas around what's worked for them. They started pre-COVID with expanding their online presence. So they aimed to connect their family of farmers in their local area and other riverland producers to their amazing products and services, and in turn their customers. And Facebook and Instagram strategies such as the one I've talked about have been vital in that in that process for them. Their overall direct online sales have actually gone up from it, And given some of the issues that they're faced with COVID, they've found that this has been a game changer for them. So just Sue, who's the lady here you can see in the picture, she gave some advice, and what she's talking about is that they consistently share their story of their business, including their rich history, which is very long, and also their low impact farming methods. So they're conscious of building a community of value and quality conscious shoppers, which is what they do. And they use Instagram stories, Instagram direct messages as a key component of that message. And probably one of the most telling things that Sue says when we were talking to her is, she said, just, you don't need to be an expert to start this, but you do need to start it. So, you know, just practice. And eventually you'll find you will become an expert at it. But if you don't start, you're never going to get to that point where you're an expert at it. So just get going and get something started. Like I touched on earlier, there's also a component where we can actually promote a post that you're putting onto your Facebook page or Instagram. The key here is that you need to make sure that you understand what your business goal is. If you're going to start investing money in promoting posts, then you need to have a strategy in place about what it is you're trying to achieve by pushing that post out there to a larger audience and paying for that audience to be reached. So that goes back to those 4 questions that I asked of you at the beginning. I keep going back to that because they are key with this strategy the whole way through. So it's really simple. If you want to promote a post through Facebook, all you do is go to your desktop. Down on the bottom left there, you'll see there's a little promote button. And this is a guided walkthrough. So what you see here is what you get. It'll take you through to another screen. It'll ask you, how would you like to grow your business? And this is what I'm talking about in terms of making sure that you understand or you have a clear set of goals about what you're trying to do. So whether you want to boost a post, promote your page, do what I do for Gearbunch, I want to get more website visitors. Say you're a restaurant, you probably want to promote your business locally. You might be an accountancy firm, you want to get more leads. So whatever it is that may be of interest to your business, that's what your ad objective is going to be. They're pretty self-explanatory. And what you, like I said, it's fully guided, this whole process. So they'll walk you through step by step of that. So the last thing that I wanted to cover is keeping your accounts secure. And I talked about this briefly, but you know, you always, if you've got a physical location, you always lock it, you've got insurance. There's a number of security tools on Facebook that I recommend that you use and take advantage of. So the first is that you can enable on your Facebook page or on your Facebook account is set up 2-factor authentication, which basically means if someone tries to log in to your account from an unrecognized device, like a different phone or a different browser, it's going to send you an alert and ask, hey, is this you? And you need to get back to them and say yes or no. Really, really fundamental to have, because you don't want people gaining access to what are your assets? They're your digital assets, but it's still an asset for your business. Use Security Checkup to review your settings. So there's a Security Checkup feature within the app, and you can go through and you can go through that step by step and just make sure you've got set up everything securely. Enabled a trusted contacts feature. So what that is if for whatever reason you might get locked out of your account, so you forget your password, absolutely can't remember it, can't get back into your account, you've got a nominated person that's a trusted contact that'll enable you to be able to get back into your account. So again, just like having a spare key for your physical location for your business. So something that's worth having. And I always recommend that you regularly review your page roles and permissions. You'll have staff or employees that will come and go. You need to make sure that if, say, someone no longer works within your business anymore, then you need to remove them from that page. If they continue to work for you, fine, keep them on. If their role changes in the company, you might need to increase their level of accessibility to it, or remove some accessibility to it. But always stay on top of it. All right, I know that's a lot of information to have taken in, and we're getting close to the end now, but just some points to remember as we've gone through today. make sure you define your business goals. So that's those 4 questions that I keep coming back to. And I keep bringing myself back to them with my own business. You know, they're vital with all of these strategies. Otherwise, you're just sort of like, you know, doing a little bit ad hoc, and it's not where you need to be. You need to have a clear plan with this stuff. And you need to make sure that, you know, the message that you're sending out there is the message being received by your user base, you know, because otherwise it'll all just get a bit lost and they'll get a bit disinterested. I encourage you to download the Pages Manager app, because that is, you know, a great tool to be able to manage your Facebook page. Use the account insights that it has in there to help you make decisions, whether that's planning your content or deciding what it is that you're actually going to put out there, what creative works best, who your actual ideal customer is when they're online. And the last thing is be responsive and provide practical and timely information to customers. So be relevant to them. Be agile, make sure you can adjust your plans. Just because you've got an idea set in your head of how your content strategy is going to start, and then you look at the insights and it changes, you need to be flexible. Don't try and, you know, reshape everyone to meet your expectations. Provide what it is that your user base or your potential customers or clients are actually looking for. You know, and it's just vital that you do be agile and use the tools that are available to you, like the ones on Messenger that we talk through, and communicate consistently with your customers. Before I move on to some questions, there are some resources available to you, and I will leave this up for a little while for you just to have a look at. But the Facebook Help Centre is a great place to start. It's a huge resource of information, and it's really easy to navigate around. So I encourage you, if you have some basic questions, go in there and have a look around, and you can see an example of it on the screen, you know, questions you may have. Facebook Blueprint, this is a good starting point for, you know, this webinar is great, but there is also Facebook Blueprint. If you go there, it is a great resource on how to learn how to use the platform. It starts from very basic to very advanced, and you can work your way through that training. And there's also more information on Facebook for Business and Instagram for Business. So if you do have any specific questions relating to the Facebook platform, more of the technical side of things, I encourage you to join the Boost with Facebook group, Australia. It has people like me and other Facebook community trainers that answer questions in there. It also has Facebook staff in there. So, you know, whilst I'm not a Facebook staff member, Facebook staff members will get in there and they will actually answer the more technical questions that I don't have, you know, I don't have an ability to answer, but I'm more than happy to answer people when it's relating to, you know, business related questions or how I use Facebook and Instagram for my business. So I encourage you to join that group. It is a wealth of, it's a great resource for small business owners and community leaders. So I've got a couple of questions that have popped up during the talk. So I've set some time aside to answer those questions. The question that I have is Instagram chat and Facebook Messenger linked? They're not linked, as in they will be, if someone asks a question in Instagram, it's asked and answered in Instagram. If someone answers a question in Facebook, it's asked and answered in Facebook. But you do have that unified inbox that I showed you, which is where you can actually go to your Facebook page, you go to the unified inbox, and you can see and answer all the questions for both Instagram and Facebook, and also respond to comments. And when you answer them, it will go through to the relevant platform that it's on. So if you answer an Instagram question in the unified inbox, it'll get answered on Instagram. And conversely, if you answer a Facebook question on the Facebook platform, it'll get answered in Facebook. Obviously, the comments for both, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, they'll get replied to on those platforms as well. Have got a question about not being able to access a business page. Unfortunately, it's not a question that I'm going to be able to answer now. What I would recommend is that you go to the Boost with Facebook group, the Australian group, as you can see on the screen here. Post the question in there, and there will be someone in there that will respond to that question, whether they're able to give you an answer there or a link for further information or another avenue of inquiry. See if we've got any more questions. Feel free to ask them. I've set some time aside. Is there any cost from Facebook to have a business page? Absolutely not. And that is what I love about this program, is that, especially as a small business owner, when I started out, I was bootstrapped. Like I didn't walk into a family business. I didn't have investors. I was doing it off my own back. And having these range of tools available to me that cost me nothing, that allow me to communicate with people and to give me the insights that it does, and it allows me to have so much functionality, know so much about my customers for free. It was almost like it was too good to be true. So no, there's definitely no cost associated with it, and I recommend everyone take advantage of it. We have another question. I've heard adding too many hashtags on Insta could lead to shadow banning or throttling. Is this true? And if so, how can we work around it? Honestly, I probably wouldn't try and work around it. Don't think about it from a policies perspective. Think about it as a user experience. So if I go to a post and I see 50 hashtags, that just looks like absolute clutter to me, and it's not engaging. What you need to do is, what I recommend is those 3 to 5 hashtags that are really relevant to you. It almost looks a bit spammy if you're putting too many in there. And I don't think they're shadow banning you. I think what they're doing is it's more about quality, and it's about the algorithm's going to pick up on if people are engaged with your content, or if they like it, and whether they should share it with more of your users. And if it's something with like 50 to 60 hashtags, well, it's not going to be very engaging, and it's not going to get shown. So it's not going to have a whole lot of reach, whereas 3 to 5 is more relevant. Make sure you post relevant photos and videos are relevant, and you'll get a lot further than just trying to, put this huge group of hashtags in there. How do I cross post from Facebook to Instagram? Keeps coming up on my personal page. Again, that's probably a question that's going to be better asked within the Boost by Facebook group. My initial thoughts is potentially your Facebook to Instagram. I'd say you're either posting from a Facebook personal profile or an Instagram personal profile. They both need to be business, and you connect your Instagram business profile with your Facebook business profile. But again, probably a little bit too much to go through right now. Boost with Facebook group would be the great place to ask that question. Am I happier doing this than the police force? Sometimes. There's a lot of the police force that I do miss. I do miss helping people, which is why I get so excited about doing things like this, because being an online marketer and working in a small business in a small town, it's a little bit insular sometimes. I find I'm talking to a screen a lot, like I'm doing today, but I don't get asked questions back. And there's not too many other people in my small town that actually really know what I do, or I can share my experiences with. But yeah, sometimes I really love the flexibility this affords me with doing what I'm doing, but I also do miss parts of the police. In terms of paid advertising via Facebook, what are the costs associated with this, and how is it built? So pay-per-click or fixed costs based on targeting, demographics, geography, etc. Again, the answer to that is fairly lengthy, but what you're doing is you're going into an auction and you're going to get charged based on what you're asking it to do. So you could be getting charged per impressions, how competitive the auction is. This is a great question that you could ask within the Boost for Facebook group, Boost with Facebook Australia group, or alternatively, if you go to Facebook Blueprint, there's modules in there about advertising, and it'll explain about how the costs are decided, how the ad auction works, and how you can allocate budgets and best practices for that. Would you be able to share a pack after the presentation? I believe this is being recorded. So yes, this is something that you'll be able to access and look back on. can you please repeat the name of the app you recommend for monthly content planning for strategy? To be honest, if you want to have a zero cost app, you can do it natively within Facebook. You can do it within, you know, your business page, and you can also do it within Instagram. So yeah, there are other apps that you can use. I do use one called Hootsuite, but I highly recommend to start with, use the free one that's available to you. It's native within the platform and it works well. I've heard the algo on Facebook means you should only post one post per day to be seen. Is this true? No, that's not true. And that is, it's really dependent on your audience. So for Gearbunch, I have a worldwide audience. If I only posted once per day, what that would mean for me is that I would have, you know, a large segment of my potential user base would be in bed when it got posted. So I like to hit them a couple of times a day. Reason being is that I'm trying to get people at peak times when they're going to be most active, because people in North America are awake at different times to people in Australia. So it's one of those things, start posting, get some things up there, have a look at what's, have a look at what works for you based on the insights with the tools that I showed you, and then start structuring around that. Facebook is not going to penalize you for putting engaging content out there that people are wanting to see. Where do we find the unified inbox again? The unified inbox is on your Facebook business page. Easiest way to find it is go to your desktop or, you know, laptop, PC, whatever you have, go there and you can find the unified inbox there. Do you use any schedule strategy apps like Buffer app for your content? Like I said, I do use Hootsuite, but I do recommend that you use the native one. So look, that's pretty much all we've got time for today. I'm just reading through, we've got more questions, but if you, I'm sorry that I can't answer all your questions, but what I will do is direct you through to the Boost with Facebook Australia group again. I've had a really great time presenting this to you today, and I hope that you've managed to take something from it. I encourage you to take some action. It might not be perfect action, but take some action. That's sort of my motto on how I keep pushing forward in my business. And I just want to send out a huge thanks for the NAB team for organising this and allowing me the opportunity to be part of it. So what I'm going to do is hand back over to Denton and Rebecca. And thank you so much, guys.
Dan, that was awesome. Thank you so much for that presentation. Your passion and your knowledge really shone through, and I really like seeing examples of Australian businesses scattered throughout the presentation and how they're using socials to help grow and build their businesses. And I really, the sentiment just get started is perfect. So thanks again. Now, we've got a series of sessions coming up that you may also be interested in. Next week, we've got one on brand. And following that, we've got a primer on search. So if you head on over to nab.com.au/business webinars, you can register there if you're keen. We'll also upload this presentation to that site, and you can watch this one as well as ones that we've run previously.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. And thank you so much, Dan. A huge round of applause to you. Thank you so much. That was an outstanding session, which I know many small businesses will get immediate value from. Just as a reminder, if you'd like to connect with any of my small business bankers about your particular small business situation, please do not hesitate to give us a call on 13 47 08. And you can arrange an appointment with one of my small business bankers convenient to you. You can also visit our website at any time. Finally, if you liked what you saw today, please do let us know. There will be a survey when you close out of this webinar, and we appreciate all and any feedback you've got for us. Please also feel free to share this content with your business network so that they can also benefit from the content as well. As Rebecca mentioned, it will be available to replay in a few days' time on the website. I look forward to seeing you on our next few sessions. Thank you so much for joining us, and do take care. Thank you.